I want to make a video about DCF and what they did to me. I'll try and make it short as possible. But I got an injury when I was Baker acted or whatever for stop taking the medicine, and I went into psychosis from withdrawals from the medication. Has nothing to do with actual schizophrenia. And I'm in there, and people are yelling, screaming, and I ask if I can go into seclusion. And they said no. And I asked again, and I kept asking, and they said no. So I'm standing there. I walk over to a table, and I push it over on its side. This racist guy, who every time I go into the place for refusing to take the medication, stop taking the medication, and every time I go in there, I'm like, how does someone so racist like him be able to work in here? He weighs like 250 pounds, and he's their muscle, one of the so-called techs. But he ran up behind me and hit me right here on my back, on my lower back, with his shoulder. I went down. On the way down, I was thinking, should I not block my face and let my face smash into the ground and make this guy look like a real asshole because of what he did? But I blocked my face, and if I wouldn't have, it would have been really bad. So you see, no one was around when he did that. There was no reason for him to tackle me like that. There was no one around. So I lay in bed for a month and a half because of the pain. I saw my friends, and I saw friends that I no longer hung out with because they got addicted to oxys. I wasn't having nothing to do with them. Laid in bed for a month and a half before I got out of the bed because of that. I filed a complaint with DCF. So DCF comes out to my house, and the lady threatens me. At the end of the conversation, after I told her what happened, she says, well, if they don't think they can protect you, we'll put you in the state hospital. So a guy's going to assault me because I knock a table over with no one around and no one got hurt and give me a back injury that now I have to have a back brace for because it feels like the back of my back where he hit me is about to blow out in the whole big area. So she says, if they don't think they can protect you, we'll put you in a state hospital. Okay. So I go back in there to my doctor's appointment on the outpatient. The tech that was standing there with him, which I think he's cool, he's black too, he came up and told me, he says, dude, I just want you to know that Eddie got fired from here because he hurt too many people. And he got fired like 2 months after he did what to me, and I reported him to DCF. DCF threatened me, and he got fired for hurting too many people like 2 months later. Yeah, so you see, they give me Ritalin at 5 years old, which I found the study online that basically says that shit caused me to get schizophrenia at 25, 2 months after I turned 25 with diagnosis in a specific order. Now I'm dependent on schizophrenia medication. I don't like it. It's sedating. It fucking sucks. But now I'm med compliant because I went off the medicine slowly, stopped seeing the doctor, save up a year, 2.5 years of medication, slowly decreased it, never went into psychosis, and didn't fucking wind up in there until the doctor told me I had to bleed out my ass from the medication, and they couldn't give me anything because the insurance company wouldn't pay for it. Medication makes me bleed out my ass, dude. Every time I start taking it, I start bleeding when I wipe. And so I stopped taking it, got Baker acted that time after I was willing to go on it, but they just wouldn't pay for the medication that the doctor thought would make my ass stop bleeding when I wipe. That's alright. I found CDP choline, something that I'm taking with a neurotropic that made the bleeding stop, so it's not a problem anymore. It's working out. It's interesting how they make your ass bleed, and then they tell you need to go see another doctor to get another pill and pay all these fuckers money and pay bills and shit when it's the fucking medicine. And the people in Sanford, they actually told me that I'm doing it with my head. You see, I've stopped taking the medicine 18 times. Every time I stop taking it, my ass stops bleeding when I wipe. Every time I start taking it, my ass starts bleeding when I wipe. And now I have involuntary movements and they're happening more, so there's another fucking medication that's more than $2,800 of what I fucking take now. And cops running around executing schizophrenics.